कृष्ण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees. Many are online today and few are offline. So should we do reading through online or offline also? Both are possible? They can speak also? Okay. So we are beginning 4th canto chapter 10 today, and this chapter does not have much of a discussion. I believe we will enter 11th chapter also today, and the verses are also not so many. So, Dhruv Maharaj fight with the yakshas. So the sections are so many, I can't say whether they are really sections or like subsections. So, not you may note down if you wish to. So first Dhruva's marriage. Uttanpad actually takes off and goes for next order of life, Vanprastha and Sannyas. I don't think so Sannyas, Vanprastha. But after that Dhruva is now married, and then Uttama gets killed. Dhruva attacks Alkapuri, and then there is a lot of fight. So some good amount of discussion is on that. In fact, it spills over into the next chapter also, that whole fight. So from 8 onwards, all is fight only. So in the fight, how the Dhruva sometimes kills in a massive way, sometimes Yakshas bewilder him with mystic program, and then how the sages give him encouragement. All that is coming. So we'll begin. Text 1. Maitra Uvacha Prajapate Duhitaram Shishumarasya Vai Dhruva उपये में ब्रह्मन् नाम तत्सुतौ कल्पवत्सरो. Okay, so we'll do first offline then online. One. Okay.
The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, thereafter Dhruva Maharaj married the daughter of Prajapati Shushumara, whose name was Brahmi, and two sons named Kalpa and Vatsara were born of her." It is very important to note in this connection that since Maharaj Uttanapad was greatly affectionate towards his son, and since it is the duty of a father to get his sons and daughters married as quickly as possible, why did he not get his son married before he left home? The answer is that Maharaj Uttanapad was a Rajarishi, saintly king. Although he was busy in his political affairs and duties of government management, he was very anxious for self-realization. Therefore, as soon as his son Dhruva Maharaj was quite worthy to take charge of the government, he took this opportunity to leave home just like his son, who without fear left home for self-realization, even at the age of 5 years. These are rare instances from which we can see that the importance of spiritual realization is above all other important work. Maharaj Uttanapad knew very well that to get his son Dhruva Maharaj married was not so important that he should take preference for his going away to the forest for self-realization.
So in general, a king is very important responsibility of the king is that he should have a succession plan. So Dhruva is now king but not married. So marriage can wait. Actually, some of the incidences is where he leaves even before the next person comes in. Like when Prachina Bari heard from Narada Muni, then he left. Prachitara is still with the austerities only going on, and he leaves. He understands, no time to waste. Let me leave. This is most important business. So in the Vedic times, all the Rajarishi kings had great anxiety to deliver their own self by purification of heart. They were not so caught up in the idea कि हम गद्दी कब तक संभालेंगे, you know. Actually, they were more eager to deliver themselves. So much so that Swayambhava Manu wants to now, after many generations, when Swayambhava Manu wanted, in 5th canto it will come, that Swayambhava Manu wants to now take off from all these kingly duties. And that time already many generations have passed. And Uttanpad is Naishtika Brahmachari doing nice bhakti. And then Swayambhava Manu says, you come over, Baba, I am your father. I am not getting Vanprastha life because you are sitting in the nice Brahmachari order. Better you take the kingly life, I will go to Vanprastha. So there is a competition ki, you take kursi, you take the chair. Not that who, no, my chair. No. So everyone was eager for self-realization. Everyone wanted to perfect their lives. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj, it comes, Pandavas retire timely and Dhritarashtra quits home. So Dhritarashtra had to be given a heavy duty surgery by the Ukti of Vidura. Then only got evicted practically out of his Dhritarashtra. He was so much attached to his Rashtra, although it was no more his Rashtra also. Still he was attached to the kursi. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was so detached. As soon as he came to know, actually Narad Muni had already told that when Lord Krishna leaves the planet, you should hand over the kingdom to Parikshit and move on. Immediately he moved on. So much so immediately that he called Parikshit and put him on he crowned him and moved on. He didn't ask, Draupadi, will you come with me? Or other Pandavas also, will they come with him? No, he left. And behind him, further Bhima, Arjun, everyone left without asking the other party. None of them asked the other one whether you are also coming with us. Everyone left on their own, one. Because everyone was desperate to leave. Can you imagine? They're the king of not just earthly planet, but the entire, this Jambudvip was under them only. Arjun is going all over and yajna has to be done. What is that? Rajasuya yajna. So what is our Rajya, Sometimes people become attached to little few, some situations of their, ये मेरा center है या temple है या, what is this actually? People should actually have a sense of very deep desire to become self-realized. Parikshit also, immediately when he got a signal that now I'm I'm cursed to die in 7 days, immediately leave, He is not thinking, क्या? वो श्रृंगी ने ऐसा किया मेरे साथ, अभी देखो, अरे मैंने क्या किया था, मारा वो हिसाब डाला था, अरे तेरा बाप मरे तू मरे, not like that, He is very eager to get self-realization. In fact, he saw it as a signal of the Lord. The Lord is helping me to detach myself from this kingly life. So, actually in life we have to have Prabhupada says a renounced temperament, not that, tit for tat kind of temperament. So here Uttanpad is saying, okay, शादी बाद में हो जाएगी, मैं निकलता हूँ, Yeah, he is eager for self-realization. Even when Kardama Muni left, was Kapila grown up? He said, I am leaving now, my duty is over now. Everything will happen. So surely, when we are prescribing to the grahasthas to take to Vanprasthas, we should not give them the idea that you drop the duties of family life, and for let Lord take care of them and you take Vanprastha life. That's not the way we can guide. Actually, guidance should be maturely done. At the same time, at some point of the phase of life, one should know that I have done now. Whatever I have done. Now I have to move on. So if we don't give them that sense of detachment, otherwise, as the that point goes, na? Person was standing at the shore of the ocean and waiting for the waves to stop to take a bath. So it will never stop only, Yeah. Okay, next one. Together. Ilayam api bharyayam vayo putrayam mahabala putramutkala namanam yoshidratnam achijanat.
The great powerful Dhruva Maharaj had another wife named Ila, who was the daughter of the demigod Vayu. By her he begot a son named Utkala and a very beautiful daughter.
उत्तमस्तु अकृतो द्वाहो मृगयायां बलीयसा अतः पुण्यजनेनाद्रौ तन्मातस्य गतिं गता.
Dhruva Maharaj's younger brother Uttam, who was still unmarried, once went on a hunting excursion and was killed by a powerful yaksha in the Himalaya mountains. Along with him, his mother Suruchi also followed the path of her son. She died.
Yeah. So now, based on this, now Dhruva will raise a war. Now, just as a point to recollect in this connection, that although Uttama is killed by Yaksha and now Dhruva will fight a war against the Yakshas, but if you remember that Lord gave him the benediction that your brother will be killed like this and your stepmother will also be killed like this because you desired so. So, who is the cause and who is the instrument? So, sometimes like here he desired so the Lord has made the whole plan. Already it is destined that he will be killed like this. And Dhruva knows it. But now immediately the situation is that Yaksha has killed. So, Yaksha killed this Uttama in an improper way. It was not he was not supposed to be killed by him. So he is wanting to punish the Yakshas. It's another thing that he goes overboard in killing many Yakshas. So sometimes we have a call of duty, like say suppose now in this Dhruva is actually seeing that, he could have seen that I desired, so he is killed. So I don't have to punish the Yaksha. He is an instrument of my own desires. I am the cause of this atrocity on my brother. So similarly, there can be a positive situation also. So someone is the cause of the immediate result, and we may have been benedicted by that also. So the point is what? The immediate duty does not change simply by some remote factors. The duty remains as it is. Like imagine now by destiny, say if by destiny when a child grows up, he is going to be a spoiled child. So can the father mother say, okay, because anyway so many children are getting spoiled, if I spend all my life in taking care of the children, instead better I do some achievements in this world. Why to spend time on these people, After 13 anyway they will not listen to me. So better I don't do my duty as a father. No sir. That is why in duty to be non-fruitive is very important. Not that we see the situation as like, okay, because they will not anyway follow me, so I will not do my duty only. We can't say whether they will follow or not, but it is our duty to take care of them when we are supposed to take. Here the case is the other way, that already the destiny is known to him, but still he is seeing what is his duty in the immediate situation. So we have to always be very careful about our duties. We should be duty bound no matter what may be the consequence, and we should be duty bound even if we know the consequence. Even if we know the consequence. Like if Kali has to come in, everything is supposed to happen like that only. So then Parikshit should not rule the kingdom, he should just leave, he should not punish Kali. No, actually whatever is the will of the Lord will come anyway, but one should continue to do one's duty within the will of the Lord. And what is the will of the Lord in form of my duty? that we may need to inquire at times from senior Vaishnavas, because sometimes we may not be as fixed as Parikshit, who understood it as the will of the Lord. So we may have to understand what is the will of the Lord from us also. So yeah, let's go ahead. So now he's going to fight. Dhruvo bhratrivadam shutva kopa marsha sucharpita jaitram sandanam masthaya gata punne janalayam.
When Dhruva Maharaj heard of the killing of his brother Uttama by the Yakshas in the Himalayan mountains, being overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, he got on his chariot and went out for victory over the city of the Yakshas, Alkapuri.
So Prabhupada writes a very important purport, something that you may have a lot of questions around also.
Dhruva Maharaj's becoming angry, overwhelmed with grief and envious of the enemies was not incompatible with his position as a great devotee. It is a misunderstanding that a devotee should not be angry, envious or overwhelmed by lamentation. Dhruva Maharaj was the king, and when his brother was unceremoniously killed, it was his duty to take revenge against the Yakshas from the Himalayas.
So a devotee can be angry, he can be overwhelmed with grief and envious of the enemy also. Prabhupada is writing that see, it is a misunderstanding. A devotee should not be angry or envious or overwhelmed with lamentation. So what is your comment on this? Sages of Naimisharanya, online and offline sages. That means everything is okay, then we can be angry, we can be grief stricken, we can be envious. What do you say? Pure devotee and yes, online Prabhus, any comment?
Maybe if something unjust is happening, so a devotee, like just like Arjuna also, so fighting was his duty also, because the dharma, it was going against dharma. The Kauravas are going against dharma. At times, a devotee, the Prabhupada also says in all the lectures that if required, devotee can take up weapons also to protect the dharma. So it's not the ultimate goal is not to become envious or angry or what. The purpose is to protect the right thing and the service to the Lord. So that is the main center. And for doing that, it may has to be expressed in some that way. So that's how it is done like that.
Okay, very good, very nice. Parjane Prabhu.
Hi, Krishna. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, almost the same answer. Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to be equipoised in difficult and good position, name and fame, etc. But here, as you answered in the previous verse, it's duty. It was his duty because he was unjustly killed. So he had to act in certain manner. But I am not sure about this verse of envious, grief, or overwhelmed with angry. But if something unjust has happened, so being a brother is what is duty to become angry, maybe to be in little bit grief stricken. As a duty, he did all these things. This is I could understand, or I can make a summon of it. Both Bhagavad Gita instruction and this extreme, one of the extreme line I have read, opposite. I have also bewildered now. So this is how I can make a summon.
Yes. Anyone else wants to say anything? Yes, Abhay Govind.
Okay.
In case of Hanuman, we see that he also got angry, but he used his anger in a service of Lord Ram. So if you can use that way, then it is fine, I think. Otherwise, it's good to just becoming angry without any cause. That I think.
Yes. So, no, there is a cause for anger, but what is the cause of Hanuman's anger and what is the cause of our anger? There is a gulf of difference. When the ego is hurt or our egoistic plans are, choked, then there is a anger. And when the anger is for the mission of the Lord, that is different actually. So, okay. Yes, Prabhu.
In all the cases, we see that for Supreme Lord, they are getting angry. Like Arjuna in case, Arjuna was following instruction of Krishna. On the strength of Krishna's instruction, he was fighting. and Hanuman was doing because of Lord Ram's strength. But here Dhruv Maharaj is doing for his brother. There is no, Supreme Lord also ordained that, see, your brother will be killed like this and everything. So he is doing as a duty, I can understand. But why should we angry? Why should we? Because already Lord has told him he is doing his duty. But as my question is that why he is angry, because obviously Lord is dead.
That is my question to you. You are reflecting on my question. Yes.
So one thing which I don't know, might be right or wrong, but at the later point of time when he was like mercilessly killing the Yakshas, then Manu will come and he will guide him. So at one point we can see that even when at any point of time one might have all the darshan of Lord also, but still in order to know what is right or wrong, he needs some superior guidance.
Okay, that is a different phase. Here Prabhupada is saying, see, was not incompatible with his position as a great devotee. No? So he is a great devotee, he still is a great devotee, and he goes through these emotions also. We are trying to just understand that feature. No? Okay.
Apichitsu Durachara words in Bhagavad Gita. So that I was hearing lecture of Prabhupada that even though that might be sometime accidental or fall down, but that has to be, we cannot tell him that ki ye aisa hai, that we cannot judge him like that. So Bhajante sadhar, we have to consider him as a sadhu only. So that can, I don't know, that can be fitted here or not.
Yes, nice. So all the sages are sharing their
Just one minute. Abhimanyu was killed, Prabhuji. That time
Yes.
he got Arjuna, apparently he cried also. But that does not mean that a devotee cannot have that emotions. But
Yeah.
then he later on continued his service. So in this
Perfect.
way we can see.
Perfect. So I'll take Parjan and
Yes, Prabhuji.
then
Prabhuji,
we'll.
one point I would like to add, small point, कि he is a king. तुम्हारे कोई भाई कोई मार के चला गया तो what kind of king you are? So as a king he has to act. He has to, if someone is killed unjustly, so he has to take that action. So he is acting more like a king right now. Maybe he might get carried over, but he has to act. नहीं तो what about the other raja of yours? If your own brother is getting killed and you are unable to do anything. So this is I would like to add.
Correct. So all of you are very perfectly right in whatever you all said. So Dhruv Maharaj is not acting just as a brother thing, like Hiranyakashipu said, Hiranyaksh ko mere bhai ko mara inane, Vishnu ne abhi मैं Vishnu ko marunga. It's not like that kind of idea. Bhaichara, not like that. But as a king, he is seeing that Uttama was wrongly killed. So to properly punish the wrong person is important. He goes overboard is a second discussion which we'll have later. But right now what is being documented here is that it is important to keep the duty. Now he is becoming angry, grief-stricken and all that, envy. So as Abhay Govind Prabhu was mentioning, in fact Prabhupada comments there in that section of Arjuna becoming very grief-stricken and becoming angry at the death of Abhimanyu. So Prabhupada says that it is, we are not a stone, a pure devotee is not a stone, he is also having feelings, he has affection. So if his near and dear one dies, then it's not that he will remain like a stoic person, no, कुछ होता ही नहीं है, indifferent है वो, सब तो आत्मा ही है सब, मर गए तो मर गए, no? In fact, when all the Kauravas die and when their Shraddha and all is being done, then Subhadra and all the party is crying, and Krishna also sits with them and gives them santana and all. So it is not that if you are fixed in divine knowledge, you will not have any emotions. So emotions have to be there. If we have not got emotions, maybe we have become like a jnani rather than a devotee, and we are not having. Actually, any conscious person has emotions. Yeah, like tell me honestly, even if maybe you will say, but I am not a pure devotee. That's why my question was that if you are suppose you are a pure devotee, so if your mother father leave, you will not feel any pain. You don't have any. You will feel like mar gaye do jivatma chale gaye. Will you feel like that? दो जीवात्मा और चले गए इस जगत से, you have some feeling for them or not? Hopefully you have. इतना किया उन्होंने. In fact, Prabhupada writes in that Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitrinam, in that lecture, in that one lecture, he says that we should be grateful to these personalities. Not that because we are taken to bhakti, we should not feel any gratitude to them. It is only saying that all the debts that we owe to them get finished by taking full shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Not that we don't have any debt and we should not feel any indebtedness. ठीक है, ये लोगों ने तो अपना कर्तव्य ही निभाया, क्या किया इन्होंने? After all, that was their duty. I am doing my duty, and who cares what they did, you know? And that is not the behavior of a devotee. So a devotee does feel pains, pleasures in certain practical ways of affection. So anger is also corresponding to his Kshatriya being like a Kshatriya. If someone has done injustice to any praja, he should feel angry or not? Or he will just say, okay, I am supposed to punish him. He will, I don't know how, without being angry, how can he kill someone, you know? You've seen in the wars also, they say, अरे गीदड़ होते हैं जो लड़ते मतलब बातें करते हैं, लड़के दिखा, अरे बातें आज तेरा सर धड़ से अलग हो जाएगा ऐसा, you know, they talk like first they will excite the ego, क्या बोला अभी, you know, so you know, warfare requires some anger. So Brahmana versus Kshatriya, we have to understand. Yudhishthira was more of a Brahmanical Kshatriya, so he was like, ठीक है, you know. But Bhimsen was like a pakka Kshatriya. So he was like, he said, I will drink the blood of all the 100 Kauravas. Now you may say, how can a pure devotee drink blood, Baba? Looks like blood drinking really does not fit into, ठीक है, someone may fight, may be angry, but how can you drink blood at the end of the day? He actually drank also, right? So it was not like filtered with offer to bhoga to the Lord or something, you know. You may say bhoga to lagana chahiye. So our conceptions of a pure devotee are very much tainted with only one of the varnas, which is Brahmana. Our conception of a pure devotee is understood as a Brahmana. He should be very forgiving. Forgiving principle devotee has. But when he is as a Brahmana, it matches very well. When he is a Kshatriya, he has to punish also. उधर anger आएगा, उधर ये सब भाव आते हैं, है ना? अभी अर्जुन भी, you know, see Arjun is ready to fight. आज अभिमन्यु को मारा, अभी मैं खत्म कर दूंगा जयद्रथ को, है ना? So all these feelings, if we say that these feelings are out of the pure devotee box, then all the three varnas which are apart from Brahmana will be thrown out of pure devotee box actually. So it takes actually maturity in our life to be able to realize, we may not realize, but at least be able to accept pure devotees in the four ashramas, four varnas. It will take a lot of bandwidth for us to understand that, because we are also sitting in a brahmachari order, na, which also demands, at least hopefully, that we should live as per Brahmanical standard. Like chappal chor aata hai, तो चप्पल चोर को हमें नहीं मारना चाहिए, है ना? चप्पल चोर को गृहस्थ को चप्पल देके बोले मेरी चप्पल से तुम मार दो, कोई बात नहीं, हमें नहीं मारना चाहिए. बट वो तो मारेगा ना, अभी जब वो मारेगा तो उसको थोड़ा पैशन भी आएगा. So have you seen sometimes if you start doing something like that, then you feel somewhat more passionate at the end, right? So all these features are part of the living in this creation. But as a pure devotee, his fixity in the Lord's desire is there, and that will come as what later on Swayambhanu, when he immediately comes out, hey Haribol, ज़्यादा हो गया तुम्हारा. Anger was okay, but now it is atirosh. Then he comes back. So it's important that we accept people with emotions also. Like Parikshit Maharaj putting a dead snake over Shamik Rishi. Shamik Rishi did not take it otherwise. He said, hey, king, emperor came and I did not even greet him with any water. So he did not take it otherwise. So actually Vedic culture, people were accepted with that, their varna also. You know? Not just their pure devotional service is all important, and the varna is not at all understood. You know? Like Kshatriya, Dhruva is not able to feel peaceful with the Brahmanical advice. Because he is Kshatriya. You want him to become Narad Muni? No, it will not work. No? So we have to accept those personalities That's why you will see, actually in ISKCON movement, one of the problems is that when we have not really digested the whole Varnashram, you know. So, कोई अगर क्षत्रिय टाइप का डिवोटी निकल जाता है, तो उसका हाव भाव समझ नहीं आता हमको, ये ऐसा कैसे बिहेव कर रहा है, थोड़ा पीसफुल हो जाए. अरे आप अपने वर्ण में हो इसलिए आप पीसफुल हो, वो अपने वर्ण में पीसफुल रहेगा. उसको दैट इज भीमसेन वाज वेरी अपसेट विद युधिष्ठिर महाराज. ये क्या है, शांति से बैठे हुए वैदिक हिम सुन रहे हैं, कोई बात हुई ना. सो देयर आर इमोशंस व्हिच कम. So then what is within the pure devotion service and outside pure devotion service has to be seen according to what is that particular person's appropriate dharma. You know? It should not be, see, when Vishwamitra Muni had to kill this Khardushan, no, not Khardushan, who were the first ones to be killed? Khardushan only. Trataka and the party, you know, Marich and all that fellows. So that time he called Ram to do it. He said, I can do it, but then I will lose the tejas, the bala for doing the yajna. I cannot become angry, otherwise yajna will fail. So Brahmana has to be forgiving and Kshatriya has to be, fighting back. Everyone has his dharma. Okay. Gatvodicim disham raja rudranuchara sevitam dadarsha himavadronyam Purim Guhyaka Sankulam.
Dhruva Maharaj went to the northern direction of a Himalayan range. In a valley he saw a city full of costly persons who were followers of the Lord Shiva. In this verse it is stated that the Yakshas are more or less devotees of Lord Shiva. By this indication, the Yakshas may be taken to be the Himalayan tribes like the Talibans.
No, Tibetans. Tibet is an area between China and India, which is always controversy. And in that area, there are tribes living. So he went there. The place is Alkapuri. So there the Yakshas stay and they are having their own mystic powers and all also. Dadmau Shankam Brihat Bahu Kam Dishaschanu Nadayan Yeno Digna Disha Shattar Upadevyotra Sanbrisham.
Maitreya continue. My dear Vidura, as soon as Dhruva Maharaj reached Alkapuri, he immediately blew his conch and the sound reverberated throughout the entire sky in every direction. The wives of Yakshas became very much frightened. From their eyes, it was apparent that they were full of anxiety.
When Arjuna and Krishna also blew the conch shell, all the hearts of the Kaurava party became shattered. Tato nishkramya balina upadeva mahabhata asahantas tanninadam abhipetu udayuda.
O hero Vidura, the greatly powerful heroes of Yakshas, unable to tolerate the resounding vibration of the conch shell of Dhruva Maharaj, came forth from their city with weapons and attacked Dhruva Maharaj.
Can you imagine? Conch shell was only non-tolerable. No? The reverberating sound of the conch shell itself. Conch shell we blow in the temple also. No? It is so intolerable that they came to fight now. Okay. Satan apatato vira ugradhanva maharata ekaikam yugapat sarvan an banaistribirtibi.
Dhruva Maharaj, who was a great charioteer and certainly a great bowman also, immediately began to kill them by simultaneously discharging arrows 3 at a time.
3 arrows at a time. I don't know what type of bow and arrows were there, One fellow can, using a bow, he can shoot 3 arrows also, And now they will shoot also more arrows. Okay, read directly.
Yellow person?
No.
Okay. When the heroes of Yakshas saw that all their heads were being thus threatened by Dhruva Maharaj, they could very easily understand their vacant position, and they concluded that they would certainly be defeated. But as a heroes, they lauded the action of Dhruva.
They lauded, wow, wow, brave, wow, amazing. So they were appreciative of Dhruva's very great fighting spirit. At the same time, they are themselves overwhelmed also with it.
This spirit of fighting in a sporting attitude is very significant in this verse. The Yakshas were severely attacked. Dhruva Maharaj was their enemy, but still upon witnessing the wonderful heroic act of Maharaj Dhruva, they were very pleased with him. This straightforward appreciation of an enemy's prowess is a characteristic of real Kshatriya spirit.
So, in warfare, it's not like if someone is showing his nice spirit, then the other party just because there is so much envy, then he will not appreciate the other party. Actually, they play. It is like a play among. They like kushti. They appreciate the other party also on the way. In fact, in the Vedic warfare, they would meet in the evening and have some prasad also together. So it was not like जानी दुश्मन है तो जी नहीं सकते इसके, you kill him in the night. If he comes into the tent, I'll kill him. So there is a code of conduct of a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya would appreciate the other party's way of working. One thing we can take from this also for our bhakti life, that we should, there are two types of wars we are fighting. What are the two wars? One is the war with Maya in terms of anarthas, and one is the war outside to preach the mission. So like imagine now, Maya Devi has released her very powerful weapon called smartphone, which is killing like anything, mass killing is happening by smartphone. So our devotees are making apps to retaliate to that. So we have to take it. Now new technology. See, we were saying Shravanam, the main way is Shravanam, but now all the people are with the Shravanam on the nonsense things. So Maya Devi has understood, if they hear too much of Hare Krishna Mahamandra, they'll get delivered. So better I plug them in with all Maya vibrations. So we have to see the strategy, see how powerful her strategy is. All the time they are doing Shravanam of the mic vibrations. So now we should think, how should we devise a strategy by which everyone will chant Hare Krishna? Instead of blaming the other party, क्या है माया बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गई, अभी कली बहुत स्ट्रांग है, अरे कली स्ट्रांग है तो अभी परीक्षित महाराज के शरण लगे, हमारे को भी कुछ फाइट बैक करना नहीं. नॉट दैट क्या अभी तो बेकार हो गया जीवन, अभी सब कलयुग आ गया है, कलयुग आ गया है. रोने से कोई फायदा नहीं है. प्रभुपाद इज आवर सेनापति वक्ता. परीक्षित के सामने घुटने टेक दिए कली ने. तो प्रभुपाद इज ऑल्सो आवर सेनापति वक्ता. हमारे सेनापति इतने स्ट्रांग है, पीछे से हम गीदड़ भपकी भाग जाए पीछे से, अरे प्रभुपाद जी आप ही संभालिए, हमसे नहीं होता ये सब. वॉर मीन्स विल फाइट. ओके, सो वी गो अहेड. ते पिचामम, दूसरे को दे दीजिए प्रभु माइक. सबका हो गया यहाँ पे? ऑनलाइन जाइए, ऑनलाइन. ओके. ते पिचामम अमृष्यन्तः पादस्पर्शम एवो रगा शरैर अविद्यन युगपद द्विगुणम प्रचिकीर्षव. Okay.
Just like serpents who cannot tolerate being trampled upon by anyone's feet, the Yakshas, being intolerant of the wonderful prowess of Dhruva Maharaj, threw twice as many arrows, 6 from each of their soldiers, and thus they were valiantly exhibited their prowess.
Can you imagine? Dhruva was shooting 3 arrows, and these fellows together, everyone is shooting 6 arrows. How many arrows? So many yakshas came out, all of them together were shooting 6 arrows. So how many arrows were coming on?
Dhruva Maharaj went alone.
Actually फोटो तो ऐसे ही दिखाता है पिक्चर. मुझे पता नहीं, कुछ आर्मी का लिखा नहीं है कहीं पे. I didn't hear also any army around it. Okay, see this count. Read.
The Yaksha soldiers were 130,000 strong, all greatly angry and all desiring to defeat the wonderful activities of Dhruva Maharaj. With full strength, they showered upon Maharaj Dhruva, along with his chariot and charioteer, various types of feathered arrows, parighas, iron bludgeons, nistrimas, swords, prasulas, tridents, paraswadhas, lances, shaktis, pikes, rishtis, spears, and bhusundi weapons.
पहले तो वेपन्स भी पता करने पड़ेंगे कौन कौन से वेपन क्या है no? And 1,30,000 people shooting 6 arrows. So how many arrows? 7,80,000 arrows. Huh? So this warfare is not like ऐसे aim लगा के मार रहे हैं गुरुजी पे all the arrows are coming on him. How many he will fight with टुंग 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 ऐसे नहीं होता है वो कुछ अलग टाइप का होता होगा इधर का फाइट है थोड़ा मिस्टिकल फाइट है थोड़ा no? So no, you can't fight arrow by arrow, It's not going to work like that, How many arrows are coming simultaneously? Everything is coming on you, and then you say tung 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 tung. ऐसा नहीं होता ये कुछ अलग तरीका है fighting का. In fact, see, swords are also coming, lances are coming, tridents are coming. So he has to be like Durga with 10 hands. So it's not like that. There is this warfare is not known to us actually. We only know the common modern warfare. Gun लेके मार रहे हैं लोग. Okay.
Dhruva Maharaj was completely covered by an incessant shower of weapons, just as mountain is covered by incessant rainfall.
Asha Rena Yatha Giri. So mountain by constant rainfall. Prabhupada, sorry, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes.
Although Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out in this connection that although Dhruva Maharaj was covered by the incessant arrows of the enemy, this does not mean that he succumbed in the battle. The example of mountain peaks being covered by incessant rain is just suitable. For when a mountain is covered by incessant rain, all dirty things are washed from the body of the mountain. Similarly, the incessant shower of arrows from the enemy gave Dhruva Maharaj new vigor to defeat them. In other words, whatever incompetency he might have had was washed away.
So one should know that the tough times of life bring out the best of our, bhakti spirit. Like वो बोलते हैं ना क्या कि if you squeeze someone, if you squeeze a mango, then mango juice comes out. So what is inside comes out when you squeeze. So the person, when he is going through a tough phase in life, then how does he retaliate? How does he deal with it? It means what he is actually inside. So here now we see that Dhruva Maharaj was showered with incessant arrows. But what has happened? Dhruva Maharaj comes with a new vigor. How many of you have seen that when we are actually facing some major difficulty in our bhakti life, that time the best out of us also came out. Otherwise, we were going thanda somewhat in devotion service. How many of you experienced that? Okay, many of you experienced. Some are waiting for that experience. It will happen, Yeah. Actually, when we face problems that are beyond us, that we cannot fight by our ability, then we understand now only Krishna. That time we actually experience deep shelter from Krishna. That time we understand what works, what does not work in bhakti. Otherwise, theory is going on. Now we are hearing Dhruva Maharaj, yeah, nice point, we may hear just points, but when we go through it, then we grow through it. If we don't go through difficulties, we will never grow. So that's why we should take challenges. We should take challenges in life. Srila Prabhupada went to the West and he experienced the shelter of Krishna even more deeply. So if we take challenges in Prabhupada's mission, someone will say, yes, Puja, I am taking challenges. No, the challenge should be such that it really puts you on the challenge, So at least, not that we have to do it unnecessarily, not that we go to the cannibal land and get eaten away just because I wanted to take a channel. No, challenge should be first the inspiration of a great soul, not a whimsical challenge. उल्टा लटक गए, फालतू का challenge नहीं लेना है. Actual challenge means the challenge which comes when you're trying to fulfill the desire of the great masters And in that, when you become lost from one's own ability to work it out, then comes prayers. Then comes magic show of Krishna's mercy. You know? And then also we also perform at our level best. Actually, we don't know what is our best potential. How many of you have experienced that sometimes you did not know that you can do this, but some other Vaishnavas put you on that role, and then you also were surprised, अरे amazing, हाँ ये भी कर सकता हूँ मैं. How many of you experienced something like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so yeah, some of you, yes, many of you experienced. Yeah. When Radha Shampoo told me to do this Drishti festival, my God, I say ये क्या है? You know, WIDC told Radha Shampoo, do it. 20,000 youth करना कितना 20,000 10,000 बोला था 10,000 टारगेट दिया था टारगेट बोला था 10,000 मैंने बोला 10,000 के 1,000 का भी नहीं किया मैंने ये तो पता नहीं क्या बातें कर रहे हैं so I had no idea how to do it actually so but it was a task given by the master so now it has to be done in some way or the other it should be best performed so I also did not know at the end of the day when Gaurang Prabhu was sitting in the Drishti festival he shook hands with me. He said, "Congratulations, Antardeep Das. You have done the biggest youth festival in the history of ISKCON." मैंने बोला, ऐसा क्या? हो गया क्या? Actually, I didn't do it in one sense. There were many senior devotees like Ravindra Chaitanya Prabhu and Raspati Prabhu, Murli Mukund Prabhu. Many Karunagaram Prabhu was there. So many got involved. And मैं ताली बजा रहा था सबके लिए. अरे बोल वेरी नाइस मुझे तो आता नहीं करना इन लोगों को बहुत कुछ आता था करना ताली बजाने के लिए भी क्रेडिट मिलता है ना ताली बजाने के लिए क्रेडिट मिलता है पता है क्या आपको तो आई कुड सी एक्चुअली इट वाज समथिंग ऑर्डेन्ड बाय द लॉर्ड एंड somehow we just became instrument in that of course I will not do again Drishti festival if not called for it was a very difficult thing for me it was not my cup of herbal tea. So, but point is simple that you may be surprised at what they are saying. They are putting faith on you beyond your own faith on you. When I was to give device session on the first device session, then Radha Shampoo said, yes, you can do it. Radha Shampoo was there in Kharagpur when I had to give. I was saying, Prabhuji, first device session I gave 3 hours. I think those boys must be Paramahamsas or some sadhus, 3 घंटे में तो धुआं निकलना चालू हो जाएगा There was Amal Mahaprabhu, Chakdari Prabhu and all of that. तो शायद उन लोगों ने टॉलरेट कर लिया 3 घंटे के डिवाइस को भी आजकल तो 1 घंटा सहते नहीं है But Radha Shampoo said, yes, you can do it. So people put more faith on you than what you have on yourself. Revati Dipu, when he was passing out from Kharagpur, then they told me to be OC. So, OC. And Revati Dipu was like, he's such a pure sadhu personality. Even at that time, Radha Shampoo declared in his presence that Revati Pati Prabhu, that time his name was the legal name. Yeah. He has set the standard for all future OCs to come. He has gone beyond my expectations. And he has set the expectation for all future OCs to come. और अगला मुकुट मेरे ऊपर पहनाया गया ना मैंने बोला भैया गिव मी अ ब्रेक इनके जैसे मैंने बोला आप राम जी जैसे हैं थोड़ी पादुका छोड़ के जाइए हमारे को आपकी पादुका को रख के ओसी बन के जिएंगे हम It was very difficult because his standard of bhakti was so high, his devotional qualities were so high, and then he had abilities also. He had 10-pointer also, and he was doing OC life also. So sometimes seniors put you on a role which is beyond you, but we should not be. We may be perplexed. Prabhupada writes in one purport. See, read this. Recently, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj gave lectures on this one.
Devotees through troubles surrounding him. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.13.17. The devotees of the Lord, who are all his confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and he paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty.
So how many of you have sometimes faced a situation where you are clueless about how to pierce through this situation? Anyone faced? Huh? I keep facing that only, I think a daily affair it is. Daily it is like that. अभी उत्कर्षा में बॉयज़ को लाना है, बॉयज़ रजिस्टर नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्या करने का है, उनकी अपनी फ्री विल है, ज़बरदस्ती तो ला नहीं सकते. Yeah, so many problems are there, है ना. वेस्ट की तो अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, वेस्ट के प्रीचिंग की. So there are so many things we again and again face where we may not be having any clue about what to do next. Sometimes it may happen in the other war also. I didn't mention elaborately on the other war. I talked about the missionary war. The other war is with the anarthas. Sometimes the devotee may become very discouraged. अभी भी लस सता रहा है क्या? I think I am not made for brahmachari life. This kind of lower sentiments can come in the mind of a devotee because he is getting injured by some anartha. अरे इतना साल हो गए, लोग मुझे पूछते हैं लेकिन ये चल रहा है मेरे साथ, so the person may feel discouraged or he may feel like better I quit, so through it all one should remain faithful. Again it will come further verses also, some important lesson in the same regard. Okay. हाहाकारस्तदैवासीत् सिद्धानां दिवि पश्यताम् अतोऽयं मानवः सूर्यो मग्नः पुण्ये जनार्णवे. We'll go online now. पर्जन्य प्रिय रूप पढ़िए.
All the siddhas from the higher planetary system were observing the fight from the sky, and when they saw that Dhruv Maharaj had been covered by the incessant arrows of the enemy, they roared tumultuously. Quote, "The grandson of Manu, Dhruva, is now lost." Unquote. They cried that Dhruv Maharaj was just like the sun, and that now he had set within the ocean of the Yakshas.
Okay, read from the denizens of the.
The denizens of the planet Siddhalok, where the residents can fly in the sky without airplanes, were anxious over Dhruv Maharaj's welfare in the battlefield. Shiv Goswami says, therefore, that not only is a devotee well protected by the Supreme Lord, but all the demigods and even ordinary men are anxious for his security and safety. When the sun sets on the horizon, it appears that sun drowns in the ocean. But actually, the sun has no difficulty. Similarly, although Dhruv appeared to drown in the ocean of Yakshas, he had no difficulty. As the sun rises again in due course at the end of night, so Dhruv Maharaj, although he might have been in difficulty, because after all it was a fight, and in any fighting activities there are reverses, that did not mean that he was defeated.
So in any fighting activity there are reverses. So if we have raised a war against Maya and we think that we will not face any reverses, we have not come to fight. See, whenever we, Gaurang Prabhu says that whenever we take up a task, we should know what type of task we are taking up. Like, if you are playing football, you should know there is goal, उस समय हाथ में बॉल पकड़ के गोल की तरफ नहीं भागने का, रग्बी नहीं है ये, we have to know what is the game like, और क्रिकेट खेल रहे तो you have to know how you score runs. So here there is a war. What does war mean? If war, there are no arrows, hitting the body, and are we really looking for war, or we are looking for some like पिचकारीज, होली खेलने नहीं आए हम, war करने आए, So when we are warring with a very powerful personality, Maya Devi, Prabhupada writes that Krishna is more or less declaring a war against the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada writes there that there can be defeat at times. I'll show you that purport, very beautiful purport. Yeah, this one only. See, read this. One may sincerely accept.
One may sincerely accept the path of self-realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the Eightfold Yoga system are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on illusory energy. Consequently, when a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendental disciplines. This is called Yoga Chalita Manasaha, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjun is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self realization.
So more or less declaring war against the illusory energy, and she will try to allure. See, Durga is the illusory energy, right? And Durga means Durga. The fort is Durga. Durga, it is difficult to go from. You know, around the fort there is a moat. You know moat? What is a moat? MOAT, moat. You don't know. See, a water body. See, when you suppose you are able to somehow cross the wall of the fort also, which is so tall, then you have to jump, na? So there is a huge water body around the fort, and that water body has man-eating crocodiles. So if you jump into it, only bones will come out within seconds. So what is the hope? See, most fellows are lying in the fort, sleeping in the lap of Maya. You know, Kota nidra jayo Maya pisachi rakul. They don't even feel like running away. Only one soul thinks, okay, I will escape. You know, there are people, the great escapists, no? एक अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड के सजाए काला पानी से निकल के भागे, कैसे भागे, तो वैसे है नो. So one soul thinks I want to get out, mumukshuvi, and now imagine everyone else is just sleeping only in the lap of Maya. One prisoner wants to run away, all the spotlights will be on him, and this fellow is running, and how far he will run? Finally the wall will be there, and he is standing before the wall like this, and all the guns and all the spotlight is on him only. Now what? What is the hope of this fellow? And if you jump across the wall also, you will fight, you will be eaten away. So that people get into, this is my interpretation, I have not read it, but people get into, I am God. मायावाद में फंस जाता है बेचारा, उसके बाद पार होके वैकुंठ में जाएगा वो, So to fight the war against illusory energy is very, very difficult. And Prabhupada writes in one place that if you want to cross the river also, the current of the river is faster near the banks. So when you're trying to go further out of the river, you will find it more difficult. Like when we are young in the body, so lust is one of the main, battle. ये lust पार हो गया ना तो शायद पार हो ही जाएगा मेरा, but lust is the first one, Prabhu. After that, ahankar is much more difficult, like the layers we see now, the earth, the 10 times, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, उसका 10 times है ना वो. So अभी जो पहला lust वाला है वो तो बहुत आसान है, मतलब in comparison to the other ones. So at least lust is detectable, and detectable layer we feel pain about, at least we understand I need shelter. But when ahankar strikes, we don't even feel that I need shelter, I think I am great. So this war is very, very difficult one. Maya's mystical weapons are so powerful that she will put us a weapon where we will think that we are winning. Because when ahankar strikes, the person thinks I am winning. See, no problem. Lust is not attacking me. I think I have gone beyond Maya. Pura Maya mein phasa hua hai beta. You're getting, na? Instead of taking shelter of Krishna, he starts thinking, I have achieved freedom from Maya. And then comes Maya, really, this is Maya. You know, Srila Radhanath Maharaj said that actually fall downs when people fall down in the advanced like age group, that is not because of lust, that is because of ahankar. Because one of the problems with the later stage, like at 40s, 50s, the person has already युवा वाला पीरियड में नहीं fall down हुआ, अभी क्यों fall down होता है? Because the person lifts his guard thinking that now I have gone beyond the three modes. Now he thinks अभी हो गया, ओहो जब वैसा सोच लिया तभी मार खाएगा, है ना? Because he lifts his guard, ना? He thinks now I can break etiquette, I can deal with Maya. I am seeing a woman, still I am not feeling disturbed. I think really I have conquered, and she is like my sister only, and I can guide her in Krishna consciousness, and that way she will also become devotee. She will preach, and more girls' voice will come up. So let us keep preaching, and we are doing bhakti only. सेवा है, भगवान की सेवा में ये माया थोड़ी है, ये तो सेवा है. बस 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 बस, you know. These are ways Maya's mystical weapons are so amazing, you know. The living entity gets caught by not understanding only it as weapon. That is the problem. No? Lust जब directly attack करता है तो कैसा लगता है? अरे बाप रे, प्रभु जी, I don't want to do any preaching. Please forgive me. I will just do झाड़ू पोछा. सब humble हो जाता है, ना? लेकिन जब माया ऐसा अहंकार से अटैक करती है तो when Sina says, don't do preaching, then he says, you are envious of me. उसको जो one who is protector only, he thinks that he is not feeling concerned about me. So people lose the real shelter, and Maya becomes very attractive in the subtle ways. No, Maya's weapons are extremely subtle actually. No? Pujala Pratishtha is very difficult to discern, and if lust takes 10, 20, 30 years to fight off, how much time we should be ready to fight ahankar? So when we have entered this war, first of all accept the game what we have come for. Don't think, प्रभु जी अभी तक ये चल रहा है, क्या है ये, और कितने साल हो गए, you know? So we have to understand what type of game we are playing, what type of war. We have taken a war which will cut us across this whole material creation, you know. So that means, like right now we are seeing some Maya of this world. We should be so much free from Maya that when the Vaikuntha airline, when Dhruva goes, he is going through Vaikuntha, these heavenly planets are visible to him. तो उधर कोई अप्सरा पसंद आ गई तो उधर ही लैंड करने को बोल देंगे विष्णुदूत को, है ना? So we have to be pure, so purely situated that हमें उन पे भी तरस है ना? इतना गोल्ड है, इतना आम का जूस मिल रहा है वहाँ पे, ना? और वहाँ पे नहीं, एक्चुअली वहाँ पे मैंगो वो नदियाँ बहती है ना, जामुन की नदी और ये सब, वो सब देखने के बाद भी तरस आना चाहिए उनके ऊपर. बहुत बेचारे परेशान है, भगवान की सेवा में नहीं लगे हुए हैं. टू फील पिटी ऑन देम, टू फील पिटी ऑन दोज हु हैव अटेन्ड ब्रह्मवादी पोजीशन आल्सो. सो इट रिक्वायर्स लॉट ऑफ प्योर डिवोशन, है ना? तो वॉर पता होनी चाहिए हमको, देन वी कैन फाइट. अब मैं आपको डिप्रेस करने के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा लंबी रेस का घोड़ा होना चाहिए, ना? अगर हम बोले अभी इतना परेशान करिए तो छोड़ो, आई थिंक वी शुड सरेंडर टू माया, देन वी विल रिमेन कॉट इन माया फॉर इटर्नल टाइम एक्चुअली. फाइट 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 टिल द एंड. When Sridhar Swami Maharaj was leaving the planet, he had got cancer, he had come to Mayapur to leave the body. When he landed in Mayapur, he said, finally the war with Maya is over. Hare Krishna. So, don't worry, this lifetime chant 16 on, follow four regulative principle, and be in those devotees. You know, Prabhupada will take you back to Godhead, you know. तो अपना फॉर्मूला बहुत सिंपल है, उतना करने के लिए भी बहुत जान लग जाता है, क्योंकि उसको लगता है ये वैष्णव ऐसा है वैसा है, फिर ऑफेंड करते हैं, फिर ऑफेंड करेंगे तो सब हरी बोल हो जाता है ना. सो दैट वे वी हैव टू बी केयरफुल. दिस वॉर इज वेरी सटल एंड वेरी वाइटल वन टू फाइट, एंड देयर विल बी डिफिकल्टीज. सी केशी अनप्रभु का मैंने यहाँ पे डायलॉग लिखा है. एक बार उनको पूछा गया, प्रभु जी अभी आप तो इतनी उम्र हो गई, 65 साल के हो गए करीब, अभी आपका लस्ट चला गया क्या? बोले देखो हम जीते नहीं हैं पर हारे भी नहीं हैं. दिस शुड बी द स्पिरिट, है ना. या नॉट दैट अभी तक नहीं हुआ तो कभी नहीं होगा, क्या है, विल फाइट, है ना. हम जीते नहीं हैं पर हारे भी नहीं हैं, है ना. We should have the sportive spirit of fighting till the end. Otherwise, they will hear some Maya katha. Some Grihastha will say, देखो अभी तक तुम्हें परेशान कर रहे हैं ना, शादी कर लो, अच्छा रहेगा. देखो उन लोगों का भी चेंज हुआ, तुम्हारे को भी चेंज करने का जरूरत. ओह, पॉइंट बोल रहे हैं, सही बोल रहे हैं, ना. तो ऐसा दिमाग घूमने लगे. Sometimes mind will only give you such wisdom, you know, wisdom from the sages of Maya, you know. Mind will give you so many proposals. You have to fight. So there may be temporary setbacks, injuries in the battle with Maya, but that should not discourage the devotee from fighting. Actually, just like a Kshatriya gets injured in the body and he gets some blood also out, but with that he gets more determined. Abhi to dekho, abhi kya dikhata hu na iska. Similarly, a Brahmana fights the inner enemies, and sometimes the inner enemy injures him. But that gives him more determination and to abhi to छोड़ूंगा नहीं इसको. सुख, no, इन्होंने 7 लाख एरो छोड़ी, अभी मैं 14 लाख छोड़ता हूँ. His enthusiasm is even more enhanced by seeing the war of the other party. So, my dear warriors, spiritual warriors, please don't give up the fight. No, you are all very powerful soldiers. You have taken this war, fight it till the end, and your spiritual master will be proud of you at the end. Say, good, my dear boy, well done. No? But वो well done से पहले काम भी बहुत करना होगा. Yeah. Okay. Read online Prabhu's Vilasvardhan Prabhu.
The Yakshas, being temporarily victorious, has claimed that they had conquered Dhruv Maharaj. But in the meantime, Dhruva's chariot suddenly appeared, just as the sun suddenly appears from within foggy mist. Here, Dhruv Maharaj is compared to the sun and the great assembly of the Yakshas to foggy mist. Fog is insignificant in comparison with the sun.
Yeah.
Although the sun is sometimes seen to be covered by fog, in fact, the sun cannot be covered by anything. Our eyes may be covered by a cloud, but the sun is never covered. By this comparison to the sun, the greatness of Dhruv Maharaj in all circumstances is affirmed.
So the Yakshas are thinking that we have done it now. You know, they thought very quickly, they thought that now they have conquered Dhruva. But Dhruv Maharaj is like the sun and he appeared again. And you will see how he does it. Read.
Dhruv Maharaj's bow and arrows twanged and hissed, causing lamentation in the hearts of his enemies. He began to shoot incessant arrows, shattering all their different weapons, just as the blasting wind scatters the assembled clouds in the sky. The sharp arrows released from the bow of Dhruv Maharaj pierced the shields and bodies of the enemy, like the thunderbolts released by the King of Heaven, which dismantled the bodies of the mountains. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, the heads of those who are cut to pieces by the arrows of Dhruv Maharaj were decorated very beautifully with earrings and turbans. The legs of their bodies were as beautiful as golden palm trees. Their arms were decorated with golden bracelets and armlets, and on their heads there were very valuable helmets benedicted with gold. All these ornaments lying on that battlefield were very attractive and could bewilder the mind of a hero."
So, see, can you imagine? Heads are flying off, blood is oozing out, everything. उसके पीछे गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट दिख रहा है, डायमंड दिख रहा है. ये सर तो बहुत था, मतलब the head is out of the body, but उसके ऊपर मुकुट के ऊपर गोल्ड दिख रहा है, no? Can you imagine? Yeah. Read the
It,
purport.
appe- it appears that in those days, soldiers used to go to the battlefield highly decorated with golden ornaments and with helmets and turbans. And when they were dead, the booty was taken by the enemy party. Their falling dead in battle with their many golden ornaments or ornamental dresses was certainly a lucrative opportunity for the heroes on the battlefield.
So think about it, when they are getting dressed for going to the battle, they put jewelry over every different part of the body. From head to toe, they are decorated with jewelry also. See, jewelry means delicate items, no? You gold लगा रखा है इधर उधर. One may think कि अरे जल्दी से तैयार होके जाते हैं. The jewelry is not going to help him in fighting. In one sense. कुंडल लगा के क्या fight better थोड़ी होगा. But that was Vedic culture. They would go with all and खत्म हो जाएंगे तो वहीं पे पड़ा हुआ होगा ज्वेलरी सारा वगैरह. And you can't even take back actually. It goes to the other party. But these were Vedic cultures. थोड़ा मजेदार है ना? You will say, ठीक है ज्वेलरी घर पे तिजोरी में रख के जाता हूँ कोई चोरी नहीं करेगा. We have our own conception. Yeah, but here, so they became the booty for the opposite party. One another thing I was thinking, see this is the destiny of that head on which they are decorating gold, you know. Finally that gold is decorating a dead head. What a plight, you know. All your power, prowess, all goes into just lying in the booty. It's all just useless. And the person also does not see anything about the body. The body is not even now, no one will burn the body also. Most of the bodies don't get burnt also. It's very difficult to even get to those bodies for their relatives and friends. And the gold is only seen as valuable. The enemy will see the gold as valuable and the body just deteriorate. In fact, many soldiers die in a battle not because of fatal injury, but because of thirst. They are injured and then they are lying in the battlefield and there is no one to give them water. And they can't get up and go. So they are lying and they die because of hunger and thirst only. So such is the plight. Gold jewelry साथ में है लेकिन कुछ खरीद नहीं सकते, मार्केट नहीं जा सकते. Dead, injured. क्या होता होगा ना? War, what is war like, you know? Very dangerous thing. Okay, someone next. Murlimdhar Mukundru.
The remaining yakshas, who somehow or other were not killed, had their limbs cut to pieces by the arrows of the great warrior Dhruva Maharaja. Thus they began to flee, just as elephants flee when defeated by a lion.
So he was covered by arrows and now he has come out like a sun, zoom, and then he's finishing the army like anything and all of them are running away now. See? Amazing. Read.
Dhruva Maharaja, the best of human beings, observed that in that great battlefield, not one of the opposing soldiers was left standing with proper weapons. He then desired to see the city of Alkapuri, but he thought to himself, no one knows the plans of the mystic yakshas.
Na mayinam veda chikirshitam jana. So he was aware that yakshas can have some mystic program going on. So I already told the purport to this, that we should be very, matlab W-A-R-Y, careful against the mystical weapons of Maya. Maya comes in many mystical ways. If Maya comes in ways which you already know, then Maya has her own tricky ways to come. So we should have very great caution to always remain under the guidance of Vaishnavas, to always remain humble, never think that Maya is now out. Actually, when we think we have won the battle, that time only we'll lift the guards. So till you go back to Godhead, जब Godhead पहुंचोगे तो पता चलेगा कि आप Godhead में हो. तो तब तक don't lift the guards against Maya. Don't break etiquettes. Whether it is breaking etiquettes in terms of dealing with other Vaishnavas, that means we offend Vaishnavas thinking, like sometimes devotee thinks, because I am in management, so I can break etiquette because I have to only, take charge here. And they may break etiquettes in dealings in Vaishnava circle. So etiquette is more important than efficiency, you know. So etiquette when we break, then Maya does not spare a manager, you know. It's not like Maya says, "ठीक है, तुम management कर रहे हो इसलिए हम," you know. We are dealing with Vaishnavas, we have to be careful. And then the other side is that we may break etiquette in dealing with women, where we may call mother, we should not talk one to one alone, all those etiquettes. So basically keep the etiquettes intact. You know, Radhe Radhe kaho, chote ban ke raho. Always know that we are vulnerable. Don't play games with Maya that, see, I'm not feeling bewildered. You're trying to entice me, but I'm not feeling bewildered. Oh, ho, ho. You know that in the 5th canto it will come when you will read. Why did Rishabh Dev not use mystic powers, although he was already, he had conquered all of Maya. So when Parikshit Maharaj asked that, Sukdev Goswami gives the analogy of a tamed wild animal. That a wild animal, even after taming, a hunter will not put faith in him. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, what a purport there. दिखाऊं उसको देख के आप थर थर कांपेंगे. At least we should know this is the type where Maya plays. See, Parikshit Maharaj asks, this is 5.6.1. For Atma Ramas who have burnt up the seeds of karma by knowledge produced through yoga, the mystic powers which arise on their own should not produce suffering again. He is asking, कि इनका हो गया ना सब कर्म, he has burnt away everything, now what is the problem? So now here he will say, Rishi Uvacha, Shukdev Goswami said, you have spoken correctly, but in the world intelligent people do not at all put faith in the unsteady mind, which is like a degraded, cunning person. And you read this. Padho, Prabhu.
You have spoken correctly. The mystic powers should not give problems. However, intelligent persons never put faith in the mind. Why? The mind at every moment takes on a new condition. Becoming pure, the mind immediately becomes impure. The degraded, cunning person, after showing friendship, kills the trusting person after robbing him. After showing its purity, with power not to be influenced by lust and anger, one day the mind makes the sadhaka who has become lax in effort to fall down by a sudden appearance of lust or anger. Though the low-born person constantly studies dharma and shows good character and is trusted even in the treasury, he sometimes commits theft since his nature is difficult to give up. Similarly, though one trusts the mind which has been purified by sense control and mind control and has become fixed in hearing and meditation, the uncontrolled mind becomes absorbed in sinful object when given the opportunity and takes away discriminating knowledge.
Sadhu Savdhan verse hai bilkul. You understood what he is saying? See, जहाँ पे विश्वास है वहीं धोखा होगा. If you don't trust someone, then you cannot be cheated by him. So first the mind will behave that it has fully become absorbed in hearing, chanting, and he is showing all nice ideas for how to be a better devotee. So he will show all nice colors. And he will not show any symptom of lust when you are dealing with a woman. And you feel, my God, see, I think really I have become an advanced soul now. So now here he is saying, see, the degraded, cunning person after showing friendship kills the trusting person after robbing him. So after showing its purity, with power not to be influenced by lust and anger, one day the mind makes the sadhaka who has become lax in effort to fall down by a sudden appearance of lust or anger. So either he lifts the guards of etiquettes or he becomes lax in sadhana. ठीक है, बिना साधना के भी लस्ट तो अटैक कर नहीं रहा, इसका मतलब अभी मेरा गाड़ी चल रहा है. Oh ho. So he has not understood the game. If we have understood the war, we should understand that means now he is playing subtle war. When we get success in devotional service, some results are coming, people are patting on the back. If a devotee is really a sadhaka, if he is really a transcendentalist, he doesn't become complacent there. He becomes more concerned there. That now what war Maya is playing is more difficult to fight. You know? See, if there is no result coming and we are taking shelter of Vaishnavas, Prabhuji, I am not getting any result, I am not qualified, ये वो, तो उसमें तो थोड़ा आसान है. बट जब आप उस्ताद बन गए, इधर बोला एक लेक्चर तो लोग बोलते क्या बोला, उधर यूट्यूब पे फॉलोअर है, ये है, वो है, ओ हो, उस समय ऐसा लग रहा पूरा दुनिया बोल रहा है क्या भक्त हो तुम, और क्या भक्त हो तुम. ये भक्त है कि भक्ति छोड़ के बस यही सोच रहे यही भक्ति है, तरंग रंग नहीं करके पकड़ लेती. So that is why when the mind shows purity, mind shows influence, mind shows that everything is going in the right direction, you know, as if you become a great devotee. That is actually, it can come from the weed also. You know, weed and seed? Weed grows faster than the seed and it looks exactly like the plant which is born out of the seed. तो लोग अभी सीड को वाटर करने के लिए वीड को वाटर करते, जल्दी उगता है ना. So we can't play with Maya Devi. We can't think that she has given up her weapons. Rather, her weapons have become more subtler, even difficult to perceive, forget by fighting. You know? And when the weeds become big, झाड़ बन गया पूरा, उसको निकालना कितना मुश्किल होगा. क्यों? You have done खेती किया, तो खेती में जब वीड का पूरा झाड़ होता है तो निकालना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा ना. हाँ, तो उसके बीच में एक वो बेचारा पौधा था, वो तो सूख ही गया है बेचारा, उसको तो पता नहीं ढूंढना पड़ेगा सीड बाकी है या नहीं, है ना. हैं? Yeah. So we have to be very careful. So my dear Prabhus, be transcendentalist till the end. Don't get caught with something temporary and think कि यही भक्ति होगा. वो सब तो खेल बहुत पुराने लोगों का है. कितने लोग फंस गए इस तरह, है ना. If you are a warrior, you should have. You have seen the Kalkanya video? Huh? He threw. अरे देखो ये स्टैचू बन गया, ये भी स्टैचू बन गया, हम कितना पावरफुल है. And then Maya Devi comes and finishes him up, you know. So how Maya Devi will finish us up? If we try to be hero, we will be zero in some time, you know. Yes. अच्छा यही वाले पर्वत में. Yeah. Who has become lax in effort to fall down by a sudden appearance of lust or anger. See, sudden appearance means what now? Like I was giving you an example. Say one is doing congregation preaching. Huh? And he thinks, okay, see I am teaching the girls also. And some of the girls want to, you know, take guidance from me. So I will give my number also. And I am not feeling disturbed. They are like my daughter actually. You know, they are like my granddaughter or something. And I can give number. Then on phone one is guiding. Till now lust has not turned up. Huh? And then one day, lust will capture that living entity to think of her as a sense object. You know, abhi guards lift ho chuke. Now she talks very casually to you. Abhi Maya Devi pakadegi. You know. So initially, you know that how a fish is caught, the fishing rod. Initially it looks only the food item. Huh? फूड आइटम के साथ अंदर तक चला जाता है फिशिंग रॉड. अभी फिशिंग रॉड अंदर हुक है उसका, अभी वो बोन में अटक गया, अभी कहाँ से निकालोगे. तो पहले वो माया को अंदर आने देता है, बिकॉज ही लिफ्ट्स हिज गार्ड, ही पुट्स इट डाउन. ओके, अभी ठीक है, ये है ही नहीं, माया नहीं है, ये तो भक्ति है. यू गेटिंग? दैट्स हाउ लस्ट अटैक्स इन अ ग्रॉस. इट्स ऑल मायाज वेरी स्पेशल प्लान्स. Okay, so we'll read next. So if you have become, see, brahmachari life now, Prabhu, you should know that your first offering to the spiritual master is your devotional character. Your external service is not your first offering. You know? So keep your devotional character intact. Sometimes people say, what is the problem? Then I will become grahastha, then I will preach. Yeah, you can do that. But if you want to be brahmachari, then first offer this devotional character. Don't make the mess out of the character and think that service itself is the great offering for the master. The master wants to see that whether we stand by the devotional character of a brahmachari also. The sadhu's character brings faith to millions of people. Millions of people. So make that as a first offering. Do whatever it takes to build up your inner character, that people will feel faith in Krishna's transcendental nature. This sadhu does not look at anything of this world. He only looks at Krishna. And because he is looking at Krishna, we want to follow his footsteps and also look at Krishna. We are having dhanam, we are having janam, we are having sundari, and still we are miserable. This guy is having na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, and still we want to. He is more happy than us. Then that means he has got something better. You have to give faith in transcendence by our character. That is the most important offering for a brahmachari. Everything else is a detail. So we can preach, but it should not be at the cost of this. Like recently I was in did I tell you about Cincinnati teenage preaching? Did I tell you? No. See, in Cincinnati, I was told by some grasta that you should train our children who are all in teenage and they are not hearing them. Parents का सुनते नहीं है teenagers. तो मैंने बोला देखिए, I cannot teach them. I don't know teenage preaching. I have done only youth preaching. नहीं, you know how to do it. They will hear you. And I told Radhe Shampu came for a camp there. And they all approached Radhe Shampu. Please instruct Antardeep Das that he should preach to our children. I told Prabhuji, see, there are boys and girls, everyone. I don't want to do this. I will preach to youth only. No, you should do it, Antardeep Das. Radhe Shampu told. See, Prabhuji, now Radhe Shampu is saying, So all the congregation became excited. Now Antardeep Das will preach. And I said, Prabhuji, boys and girls both are there. No problem. Girls will be taken care by girls mentors. And boys you can directly take care. You can give classes for all of them. And बोला ओके प्रभु, यस बॉस बोलना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. यस बॉस बोला तो पहला प्रोग्राम एक किया वहाँ पे, तो 70% were girls and 30% were boys. So boys were 2-3 and girls were 7-8, ऐसा था. तो मैंने पहले तो कोई बॉय था ही नहीं, सिर्फ गर्ल्स ही बैठी थी. मैंने प्रभु जी को बोला, प्रभु आप बैठो मेरे साथ, ये क्या चल रहा है. तो anyway, I started giving the class. And the girls there also, they don't know Sadachar also properly. So anyway, forget the detail there. So at the end of the day, I wrote to Radhe Shampu, Prabhuji, see, this is the scenario. So tomorrow, maybe the boys will not feel interested in the class. I may be only surrounded by girls. So what do you say? Should I continue or should I drop the game? So he said, then he wrote a long mail. I've gone through it very carefully. So it is very risky to continue like this, and he said that it is best if some Grasta Mataji takes and all that. We can find that out. And at the same time, at the last में लिखते हैं राधे शब्द कि but I trust you. Whatever you feel is good for yourself and for the project, you can do. मैंने बोला ये तो ऐसा लास्ट में मेरे पास क्यों छोड़ के गए हैं, पहले ही बोल दिया जो भी बोलना था, उसके बाद मेरे पास छोड़ के चले गए. मैंने बोला I don't trust my own mind and senses. I was doing the first program also only because it was your order. Now if I don't have your order, I don't trust my mind and senses. Had you ordered me now, that Lakshman Rekha would have protected me. But now because you are left, there is no Lakshman Rekha, you are saying you can decide. So I decide to not take this program. Yeah. और सब गृहस्थास को सीसी में रखा था मैंने, देखो ऐसा है ये माया का. तो वो लोग बोले ठीक है आप राधे शैम्पू डिसाइड करो. वहाँ पे माता जी जो लेडीज मदरली या मतलब हस्बैंड्स की वाइफ, मतलब सीनियर माता जी, नॉट द यंग माता, टीनेजर्स नहीं, एक्चुअल मदर्स. तो देवर से क्या प्रभु जी आप लोग सन्यासी है, आप लोगों को प्रचार करना चाहिए, हम लोग नहीं कर पाते, ये लोगों मॉडर्न यूथ है, इनको समझाने के लिए आप ही लोग हैं. मैंने बोला यूथ को पकड़ता हूँ लेकिन गर्ल्स को नहीं पकड़. उनको समझ नहीं आता, उनको क्या लगता है ये लोग पार हो चुके हैं, ये लोग तो दिव्य जगत के अंदर गोते लगा रहे प्रेम के अंदर है ना. तो मैंने उनको शांति से समझाया, माता जी थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर सो मच फेथ ऑन मी and this faith only makes everyone fall down. So, so please, I don't want to become a case study. You can keep your understanding with yourself only. No, I honestly tell them, see, we should not be shy. One time, this, Rasamrit Gorpu and his good wife, they both had called me to address girls' voice online. कि प्रो जी हम उनको डिवाइस देने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करना चाहते, तो आप क्या करिए, हम सारे जूम पे विंडोज ऑफ रखेंगे, आप बस बोलिए, है ना, आप बोलिए कि इसके बारे में होना चाहिए, हाँ, हमारा विंडो ऑन रहेगा, आप बोलिए। मैंने बोला ठीक है प्रो जी, पूछता हूँ राधे शैम्पू से, राधे शैम्पू को बुला लो ना। आई वेंट टू राधे शैम्पू सेड yes, Antardi, you can take it, no problem, So I said, okay, bro, you are saying, so I am doing it. And then, okay, so bro, you could do it, you have that Shakti also, you can do it. But no, Radha Shampoo said, you do it. Okay, yes, boss, bolna padta hai. So I went online, I gave the session. So after one day only, one phone call came from some phone call came from a Mataji. I love you phone call, So, phone call came to me. I said, Mataji, wait a minute, I am a brahmachari. Then wo boli, but I want to marry you, I know you. I said, sorry Mataji, bye bye, Hare Krishna. फिर उनका 2-3 घंटे के बाद उनके पिताजी का फोन आता है, My daughter want to marry you. ऐसे 2-3 फोन आते हैं. Then I went to, वो माताजी का फोन आया तो वॉक करते करते राधे शंपू के रूम में घुस गए. So I said, Proji, someone wants to talk to you. She said, Hare Krishna. Yes, Radhe Shyamdas speaking. Tak, phone cut. phone cut. वो समझ गया अभी तो भैया आग के सामने खड़ी हूँ. तो फोन कट हो गया. Then I said, देखो प्रभु जी अभी क्या है ये देखो. You should become bold now. You should tell them. You guide that father that I am a brahmachari. Get her married through the marriage board properly. You should not fear these people. You should tell them. I said, okay, Proji, I'll guide them. then he said another day, he said, hey, that day you gave girls' voice program, I think some girl must have got attracted to you. मैं बोला ठीक है प्रभु जी, आपको तो पूछ के ही गया था, आप ही ने बोला था. बोले देखो अभी now you tell Samrit Gorpu and that wife that they should only take care of girls and no more doing this girls' voice till 50. Don't do this girls' voice program. Your sannyas is more important. I said, okay, Prabhuji. Anyway, I was not anyway attracted to this program. You told me, I was giving the session and finally they interrogated, phone number भेजा मैंने. बोले कोई phone number match नहीं हुआ प्रभुजी, कोई बाहर की girl होगी, ये हमारी girl नहीं थी प्रभुजी. So anyway, but I'm saying na Prabhu, we should know how Maya can trick us so much, so many ways, So the senior Matajis are trusting us so much. And girls' voice, Radhe Shampu is trusting, but we should not trust our mind and senses. Even your masters trust you, you should not trust your own mind and senses. जब बच के रहोगे, अगर आपने ट्रस्ट डाल दिया तो बस फिर कोई नहीं बचा सकता, है ना. Imagine राधे शंभू से, अंतरदीप दास, ये गर्ल्स वॉइस का प्रोग्राम किया, उसमें अट्रैक्ट, एंड बोलो क्या प्रभु जी आपने क्या समझाया मेरे को, am I doing so? If I become untrustworthy, like if I had not reported to Radha Shampu and I had taken the program directly, then I am already crossing the boundary. So why I am telling you example, not to tell my case study, I am a positive case study, but had I not taken the right steps, I would have been a case study. So better don't become case studies. So फिर राधा शंपू एक क्लास बुलाएंगे. So this fellow has, कुछ क्लास बुलाना पड़ेगा ना. जब केस स्टडी बनता है तो एक क्लास बुला के बताना पड़ता है कि प्लीज बी केयरफुल, लाइफ इज ब्रह्मचारी, लाइफ इज सूरज से धारा. ओके, लेट्स गो अहेड नाउ, विल कंप्लीट द चैप्टर. ओके, रीड, पढ़िए. अच्छा कौन पढ़ने वाला है? शालिग्राम प्रभु. अरे आवाज नहीं आ रहा. Oh, your voice is not coming. Sound. Yeah, now you speak. It's coming.
Now am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
In the meantime, while Dhruva Maharaj, doubtful of his mystic enemy, was talking with his charioteer, they heard a tremendous sound, as if the whole ocean were dead, and they found that from the sky a great dust storm was coming over them from all directions.
So now they means what? Here the they refers to his army, kya?
With charioteer, and
Acha, charioteer, okay. Yeah, read.
within a moment the whole sky was overcast with dense clouds, and severe thundering was heard. There was glittering electric lightning and severe rainfall. My dear faultless Vidura, in that rainfall there was blood, mucus, pus, stool, urine, and marrow falling heavily before Dhruva Maharaj, and there were trunks of bodies falling from the sky.
इतना भयानक वार है ना ये। क्या क्या मतलब दिस इज मिस्टिकल वार रियली yeah.
Next, a great mountain was visible in the sky, and from all directions hailstones fell, along with lances, clubs, swords, iron bludgeons, and great pieces of stone. Dhruva Maharaj also saw many big serpents with angry eyes, vomiting forth fire and coming to devour him, along with groups of mad elephants, lions, and tigers.
My God, इसका वीडियो बनाना चाहिए हाँ?
Then, as if it were the time of the dissolution of the whole world, the fierce sea with foaming waves and great roaring sound came forward before him. The demon Yakshas are by nature very heinous, and by their demoniac power of illusion, they can create many strange phenomena to frighten one who is less intelligent. When the great sages heard that Dhruva Maharaj was overpowered by the illusory mystic tricks of the demons, they immediately assembled to offer him auspicious encouragement.
So now they guide him. Munaya uchu autanapada bhagavam stavasa saringradhanva deva shinotva avanatarti haro vipakshan jannamadheyam abhidhaya nishamya chada lokonjasa tarati dustaramanga mrityum. Okay, narrow it, Prabhu.
All the sages, Hare Krishna. All the sages said, Dear Dhruva, O son of King Uttanpad, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Sarangadhanva, who relieves the distress of his devotees, kill all your returning enemies. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as Lord himself. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from the fierce death without difficulty. Thus the devotee is saved. The great rishis approached Dhruva Maharaj at a time when his mind was very perplexed due to the magical feats exhibited by the Yakshas. A devotee is always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By his inspiration only, the sage came to encourage Dhruva Maharaj and ensure him that there was no danger because he was soul fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord.
See, when we are going through a difficult phase, we should actually have some association of devotees who can encourage us, who can help us to see the Lord is with us. I'll show you one. See, this is one letter by Prabhupada to Tejas Prabhu. See, read from here. I am very much disturbed.
I am very much disturbed to hear from you that you have become disturbed in your mind. Do not be disturbed. There is no cause for anxiety. You are doing your best to serve Krishna. That is very much appreciated. So do not lose enthusiasm out of frustration. that will spoil everything. Krishna consciousness means we should always be satisfied and happy, not that we must work something impossible, becoming overburdened, and then because we are unhappy by so much trouble, we lose enthusiasm altogether and give up all hope. No, if too much endeavor is there, that is to be avoided. By all means, we must preserve our spiritual status. That is the point. Not that we are mad after big buildings. Many devotees, life members, is that no, these are only ways to engage the devotees so that they may they may apply the principle of devotional living to some kind of work for practical realization of these principles.
This is a very important statement of Prabhupada. See, when we are doing missionary activities now, sometimes we may get overwhelmed when results are not coming, or we may get overworked in doing things, or we may be dealing with people who have various vices, like you are doing construction work, people may be cheaters, maybe mazdoor and all that kind, and you may be not able to understand what to do. So, all these are ways to engage the devotees to apply the principles of devotional living to some kind of work. So we should keep our devotional status of mind and consciousness. If that we lose and we are just thinking ये करने का वो करने का बहुत कुछ करने का क्या हो रहा है, that means we have become lost from the essence. You know, we should always keep this principle in mind. Okay, read. It is not the result of the work we want.
It is not the result of the work we want. If only one person daily, if we sincerely preach to such a one person in a day, that is sufficient. Never mind big programs. So my request to you is that you do not be bothered by these things. And I have instructed Tamal Krishna and Sham Sundar to send you men, so they will do it. Rest assured, Krishna does not like to see his sincere devotee suffer or become frustrated or depressed.
See
He
how
will not stand idly.
How Prabhupada is writing. Krishna does not like to see his sincere devotees suffer. How that Tejas Prabhu must have felt, na? Krishna does not, pure devotee of the Lord is saying Krishna does not like to see his sincere devotees suffer or become frustrated or depressed. So imagine you receive such a letter from Prabhupada. Huh? When you are going through a very tough time and you receive such a letter, how will you feel? How will you feel? Huh? So much sheltered, na? That Prabhupada, he's saying, I am disturbed to see that you are disturbed. No? Okay, read further. Huh?
He will not stand idly by in any such case. So do not fear on that account. Krishna has got some plan for you. Always think in that way. And very soon he will provide everything to your heart desire.
So Krishna is not going to just वो बांसुरी बजा रहे बस कुछ कर नहीं रहे होंगे उनको तो मतलब नहीं है मेरे से मैं तो बद्ध जीवात्मा हूँ. No, Krishna is very concerned and he will do something. See, do not fear on that account. Krishna has got some plan for you. Always think in that way. Huh? So see, you may preach, people may go away later. Prabhupada was going through so many tough times. Like I told you about Rukmini Dwarkadish gave him idea of coming to India when things were going wrong. So Krishna is not just like a passive receiver of service. Krishna is active and he is reciprocal. He is a expert exchanger of love. You know. So when we are going through difficult times, Krishna is also feeling concerned about it. Not like, ठीक है, हम तो बांसुरी बजाते रहेंगे, तुम्हें सेवा करने को दिया ही गया तो करो तुम सेवा. You know. He is very concerned about each one of us personally. You know. So I like this letter very much. I kept it separately. You know? Okay. Yeah, read. So Prabhupada writes, by the grace of the Lord, if a devotee at the time of death can simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting this mantra, he immediately surpasses the great ocean of material sky to the spacious sky. Simply by chanting the holy name, one can surpass the ocean of death. So Dhruv Maharaj was certainly able to surpass the illusory magical feats which had for the time being disturbed his mind. So, see, the point is what? When we are going through a difficult time, sometimes our mind may be cluttered, but then we should take time out to do sadhana, chant her holy name, take association of devotees. Two weapons here are coming. One is the association of devotees and another is the holy name. You know, the association devotee is saying chant holy name. Someone will say, "Kya holy name kya karega Prabhuji? Musibat aayi hui hai idhar." No, when we are cluttered in our mind, we cannot actually handle the things. Better go and do some bhajan, chant the holy name, read some Prabhupada books, pray to the deities, and take shelter of senior Vaishnavas. Then mind will get cleared off. We cannot take steps with a cluttered mind, with a cluttered intelligence. It will give you wrong ideas, and we take those wrong ideas ahead, we'll be a mess, more a mess after some time. So don't become bigger mess by taking shelter of the cluttered intelligence. When the intelligence is cluttered, better chant Hare Krishna. So Vishnu Jagadish Thakur writes, the sages thought that if one can cross the death by hearing about the Lord, then Dhruva could easily overcome the Yaksha's magic spell. Thus they made him remember the Narayana weapon. So what is Yaksha's magic spell when we can cross Maya's magic spell? जी माया का मैजिक स्पेल कैसा है, बता के मैजिक है. कोई भी मैजिशियन अपना मैजिक बताता नहीं है ना. बता दिया तो फिर लोग बोले यार पता है वो पीछे से चल रहा है, वो पीछे से हो रहा है एक्चुअली. ही नोज व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन. अरे इधर हाथ से निकाला, हाथ से इधर था वो देखा वो. तो सबको बता दिया फिर मजा नहीं आएगा ना, कोई पैसा भी नहीं देगा सर्कस के लिए. So no magician gives you the tricks, but Maya's magic is so powerful that she tells all the trick also. See, she is telling that I will behave like a cunning person who first puts you in bewilderment. First you will trust me, then I will bewilder you. She has told how woman's nature is, how woman bewilders the man. She has told how actually woman's body is also made up of the same problem only. सब कुछ बता दिया. How 3 modes bewilder, how सत्व रजस, सब कुछ बता दिया. मतलब माया का पर्दा फाश है एक तरीके से, फिर भी माया के पर्दे में फंस जाता है वो. The magic of Maya is so powerful that even after knowing Maya's spell, one feels this spell is really attractive. That is the power of Maya's magic. So either sages are thinking कि अगर holy name can save us from that, यक्षा का magic spell क्या चीज है. So chant holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we have next chapter to cover tomorrow. Maybe we can do. We can't do it today. 5 minutes बाकी है. Any comments, questions? Okay, no comments, no questions. So we are released 5 minutes early. Huh?
Hare Krishna.
Narrate Thakur, sorry.
Prabhuji, you were explaining that about the Kshatriya and Brahman nature. So, as a brahmachari, we have to behave like a brahmana.
No.
But if, we have to behave like a brahmana as a brahmachari. You are giving that example of that. We cannot beat him. We have to give to other person or grasta, someone in able to beat him. So when brahmachari acts in some managerial roles, so this situation, balancing those two situations create problems. So many times it's observed that means it goes because many times this type of roles, managing something, it bring out Rajogun, and many times we are not able to keep to the what is called like Brahman standard. So sometimes the need of the situation is also like that. So how we make sure that we also act and it not turn out to be offense, because you also made the point that just because we are manager, Maya is not going to leave us. We are not exempted. We will not be exempted. That point you made. So I want to just come out with the conclusion. So kindly show her.
So the very important thing, see, as brahmacharis in ISKCON, we have to keep sattva. If we don't keep our sattva will only sustain our brahmachari. If our sattva is down, we can have rajas, but the rajas should be guided by sattva. If there is no sattva guiding the rajas, then people go berserk. Like yesterday, one video has come out that Rukmini Mohan, that personality, one who became sannyasi, Patna case person. So someone has released, some of his followers have released a video how they have been tortured by him. Yeah. फॉलोअर्स मीन्स हुआ इन पटना टाइम, तो वो ऐसे पेन रख के उनका उंगली तोड़ दिया, उनका सिम कार्ड यूज कर रहा है, उन लोगों का पैसा ले रहा है, मैनी थिंग्स. So when rajas becomes uncontrolled, then it goes towards tamas also actually. So creative energy should be guided by sattvic energy. Otherwise sustainability will be at stake. So for that we have to keep our sadhana very regulated, keep our sangha of great souls very pakka. Our heart should be reverberating with spiritual sound vibration. Our consciousness has to be kept in that. Then when we are doing the actions of creation also, management and all, we will be largely sattvic. But the creation mode has to be there also. And while creating, there will be some passion, but it will remain controlled. You know? And that passion, if it goes overboard, at least the sattva will remind, hey, क्या किया तुमने, इतना गुस्सा कर दिया उसके ऊपर, you know. So at least you will feel repentant after doing the wrong action. But if it is completely out of sattva, then the jiva will go wrong and he will offend and he will not even feel guilty about it. So that is why for brahmachari it is even more important to keep his morning sadhana, daily reading sadhana and whatever, all that very much proper. It is very important for the devotee. Otherwise people will actually develop more faithlessness by seeing us. You know, they will say, क्या साधु हो क्या ऐसा करता है? Actually, many of the devotees, when in Pune, many of the Grihastha devotees said, Prabhu ji, आप बस अपना साधु का सेवा करते रहिए, आप हमें बताइए, हम करेंगे आपके लिए. You know, the Grihasthas, when we take Grihasthas, क्या बोलते हैं, role plays, like पैसा कमा के लाने का है, पैसा गिनने में हमारे को इंटरेस्ट है, कंस्ट्रक्शन करने में इंटरेस्ट है. Actually, if it is coming as an inevitability, it's another thing. But usually we should think that let them handle it. So Radheshampu is also the president for so many years, but he has been leading with Sattva. And he is empowering the Grihasthas for those roles which are supposed to be done by Grihasthas. And that keeps them also happy that they don't feel disempowered in the role they need to play. And we can keep guiding them on the spiritual principles which we should do. They want that from us. Imagine दशरथ महाराज को बोलना पड़ा, विश्वामित्र मुनि हमें बुलाइए आप क्यों लड़ाई करने चले? Vishwamitra Muni knows that I should not fight, call Dashrath and get Ram. So the Brahmana should know his duty. Chanakya wanted to get a proper ruler. He did not pick up the talwar. He remained a Brahmana. And he called Chandragupta. He made Chandragupta into the next king. So he had that level of understanding that how to make a king, how to make a king out of Chandragupta. That much understanding he had got. Still he did not do it himself. He remained Brahmanical. So one should know what is his role in this world. And if we take the other role, paradharma bhayavat, one should always keep his role intact. And for that sattva is required to see what is my role, what is others' role, not cross our boundary. Okay, Prabhu?
Thank you.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you.
श्री प्रभुपाद जी की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
प्रभु जी वो लेटर प्रभुपाद का भेज सकते हैं क्या?
ठीक है, अभी मैं क्विट कर दिया, वापस जाऊंगे. अच्छा, क्विट तो मैंने किया. हाँ, भेज दूंगा प्रभु. सॉरी भेज. किसको भेजूं? आपको भेजूं या अच्छा इनको भेजूं? चैट कौन सा है? मेरे को चैट चाहिए. विलासवर्धन प्रभु आपका 755 वाला है क्या?
नो प्रभु. हाँ चलेगा, व्हाट्सएप पे ना. यस प्रभु जी.
भेज दिया.
चला गया.